Alright, folks, check this out. I'm going to turn this phone around so you can see me and don't laugh. Alright, so check this out. This thing with this thing right here, just ignore it. Alright, so listen carefully, and I apologize that I'm acting a teeny bit comical. I'm also trying to keep an eye on my bird because I want to make sure she eats, because I'm getting ready to move from this area, and this is going to be the last time I feed her for a while. Alright, so anyways, check this out. Today's date is, I believe, the 15th of September, 2022. And I'm at the 35th new HA area, which stands for hiking area. Now, I have moved over 58 times since 2018 on the same friggin' property. And so, in the very near future, I'm going to probably start utilizing two separate, well-known places to long-term San Diego, long-term La Jolla, community members. Now, I can't verbally dictate the name of these places for legal, strategic, and security purposes, but you consider where you might go to if you were homeless. Well, I'm a gang stalking victim. All right, don't be mad at me. I fed you. Sorry. I went over there and fed her. She couldn't see it, so she got mad at me. Either that or she got chased off by another bird. Boo-boo! You wouldn't believe the way we communicate. No joke. No exaggeration. So anyways, because... Oh, wait a minute. I think maybe the mate that might still be over here. Are you over here, boo? Yeah, because they come by in pairs. Alright, so anyways, check this out. If you are a loyal follower and you've been paying attention to a lot of my videos through the YouTube account you're seeing this video through, and trust me, you better go into that account, because that account's going to blow your mind. Go into the videos dedicated to August 10th, 2022. Alright, I'm going to make very short statements concerning this because I got to get up, because I just got done packing my shit, and I got hundreds of audio files showing me openly state that when they're not already doing it, as soon as I get my fucking shit packed and go to unlock my bike, right before I go to unlock it, and as I'm interfacing with it, they start fucking hitting me in the chest through the back. So that would be the back area right behind this area. And I've already got massive physical evidence to prove it. Oh, absolutely. Directed energy weapon burns right on the area of the back I'm referring to. They hit you in the back and it goes through the back. The energy goes through the body and then it affects the area in the chest. It then affects the surrounding organs and tissues like lungs. They also hit me in the throat. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it right now. There's a white mark here on my throat. Hopefully you're going to be able to capture it, snap screenshot it. Oh, they absolutely go after my windpipe. Absolutely. These are sick sadists, man. Fucking psychos. And I apologize for the language. So, when you go into the YouTube account, this YouTube account you're watching this video through, what you want to do, and they've been heavily targeting my left eyebrow today, my left ear, my left mouth, my left back base cranium, at the lower base, where the occipital lobe's at. Alright, hold on, my bird's back. I put 2 pieces right there for you, boo. Go get it, girl. There you are. She just ducked into over there. Don't you see it, baby? Watch, you'll see her come back out. I put it right up there, boo. Go get it, girl. No, watch, she'll come out right after I say go get it. Watch. Go get it, baby. Go get it, girl. Go get it. You see it? God dang it, where'd she go? I think she's mad at me. Go get it, girl. Come on. It's the longest she's ever taken. They are so cute. They're my little boo-boos. She goes and she hides in there, and then I throw the crackers or bread over here, and she jumps out, grabs it, and goes back. I think she's mad at me right now because she hasn't been fed in a while, because I already packed up the food and took it to another spot. I ain't going way back over there to get it. I can't do it. Oh, absolutely. So, I'm sorry you're not able to see my little birdie. Hopefully you saw her go in. I wonder what she's doing. Maybe she's conferencing with her husband. Anyways, check it out. Alright, so check this out. So what you want to do is you want to go into this... Oh, hold on a minute. I think she's back. Is that you, boo? Yeah, she's back. Where are you? Boo boo. Oh well. Anyways, sorry about the interruptions. So what you want to do is you want to go into this YouTube account and you watch this video through. And what you want to do is you want to look at the August 10th upload. It's not titled yet. It's the only video dedicated to that date. Now, when you get into that video, I forgot what time frame it is. I think it's between 4 minutes and 7 minutes. When you see me using this bent finger, I cut it back in 2014. I went to the hospital, they sewed it, and it didn't heal right. So now it's bent and looks all deformed and messed up. Okay, so check it out. So listen to me carefully. Now, and make no mistake about this, it's an extremely serious video, so excuse my intermittent comical posture. Understand and know that when you watch that August 10th video, alright, when you see me say in the video, the attack came from that direction, and I'm pointing to one of the walls of my tent, and then I turn the phone back around and it's facing me, the attack starts from that wall and from the ceiling of the tent, I believe within no more than between 30 seconds to a minute. And you're literally going to see blue and white electromagnetic weapons waves, which I, through my research, have discovered massive, very good technical information online, including videos and schematics. It strongly appears that that attack was phase-based array radar, scalar weapons, using radar. And so what you want to do when you bring that video up, so you'll know the attacks start between 30 seconds to a minute, minute and a half after you see me bring the phone back to my face after I point and say the attack came from that wall. And then you see literally attack coming from and through the wall of the tent, okay? And then on the video that's uploaded on the 13th, two of them are actually uploaded on the 13th. So you want to look for the video on the 13th that's a little bit over 9 minutes long. You're going to see the same type of attack coming in from the same areas, except it's not it doesn't appear to be coming through the wall on that one, because I put some of my metallic shielding on the outer wall of the tent. And so when it interfaced with the shielding, it stopped it. And if you take consecutive snap screenshots of both, and both attacks took place within the first 10 minutes of the video. So no, don't worry, you ain't got to watch the whole entire 50-minute video from the 10th. That attack occurred on the 9th, and the 13th video, the video that was uploaded on the 13th, that's 9 minutes long, that attack took place on the 11th. 2 days apart, in the same exact identical spot in my tent that was pitched. The tent was put up at the same exact identical spot, less than fucking 100 feet away from where I'm sitting at now. Less than. Okay? So let me show you this house on the hill over here. Hold on. So, I'm going to show you this house on the hill over here, and right here. And last night when I was laying down, it appears that there's a portion of that house right there, or it might be an adjacent garage, that's got some aluminum foil stuff appearing. It's probably not aluminum foil, but it looks like it from a distance. And what is one of the biggest reported things that gang stalking crimes do? It will prop shit up in homes, okay, and then conceal it. And it can conceal this shit with many different types of things. Normal appearing things, normal structures, normal things put in and around structures, and then from the home itself. Absolutely. So the attack that I endured, that would have been then, that house over there would have been directly, and this house right here would have been directly perpendicular to it, down from an elevated position on a slight angle. That one would have been directly behind it. Okay? Right? Absolutely. Absolutely, baby cakes and munchkin butts. Okay? So I'm showcasing this to you, and eventually I'm going to be getting the address of all these homes and all the condos across the street, because I'm enduring attacks from all directions. So when you go to Google and you research at Google gang stalking and how they rent apartments, homes, condos, and even motel rooms around victims, well, baby cakes, you're not even getting 0.001% of the devil of the details concerning this area. Not even 0.001%. So always remember that, meaning that there's massive amounts of information related to my deductions and my experiences that those deductions are revolved around. Those deductions are not just revolved around experiences, but also massive educated knowledge. So when you bring up both videos and you watch them and you see this energy at the tent, the best thing for you to do is to write down the time periods when you start to see them up until the time they end. You're going to see a helicopter being in play, and the first one, both attacks on both dates were multi-pronged. One coming from probably the 11th probably came from a drone, therefore you don't have the helicopter noise. You can definitely tell that the 9th attack occurred in part in sync with a helicopter, and that was the shit coming from the top. And then the stuff coming from the wall and the upper part above that wall on the side, which would be facing that direction, which would be the direction towards UCSD, that came from either a drone on this property and or through a neighbor home or somebody, because where I was at, there's no room up there for people to slide a vehicle in that is not affiliated with the homes, unless somebody slid up a vehicle into a neighbor's driveway when the neighbors weren't home. There was at least 3 modes of operations in both attacks. And I've already caught drones on the property at night. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, when you go into my blog, which is attached to the profile of my Twitter account, which is at the @ symbol on your keyboard, at HIGGINSGGGG, all lowercase, all letters right next to each other. Okay, that's my Twitter handle. The name of the account is Neo Exposing Truth. Leslie Williams, activist. Okay, and so trust me, you'll find it. Go into that blog on the profile and be patient with it, because the perpetrators hack it daily, including when I'm not even in it, and mutilate the hell out of it. But trust me, there's massive evidence in it. Baby cakes and munchkin butts. When you see just a few of the snap screenshots I took from those 2 videos and incorporated and pasted them into my blog, okay, along with documentation evidence from a video, okay, the beams, when you take the back-to-back snap screenshots from the 9th video, you're literally going to see an electromagnetic weapon beam come in through the side wall, the one that I was pointing to before the attack started. You're going to literally see it come into the wall and go directly to this area on the top of the forehead. Now, I got audio files and at least 1 video, okay, and a photo on other memory cards on that were put in my phones on earlier dates, just here in the past 6 months, that openly show me state that they're fucking massively targeting me right here, right at the center of my forehead, right at the hairline, okay, which is a widely reported area that victims are, where the perpetrators are literally putting, listen to this, non-consensual biomedical implants and other conductive material, okay? So, you're going to also notice when you go into my blog, a 2.5 inch long, at least 2.5 inches long, massive surgery scar discovered in a video and photos taken from the video that was discovered on July 9, 2022, at an area that's less than 1,300 feet from where I'm at now. Okay? On the same property. I shaved the back of my head so I could put some better shielding on to protect my occipital lobe and my ears, which are massively targeted. As a result of shaving the head, I figured, well, I should be able to make a video and find some directed energy weapon burns behind it, because I just got done experiencing massive continuous torture sessions to that area, which I'm also enduring on a massive scale today. Left eyebrows burning today, big time, okay? Left temple, left nostril, left side of my mouth, left cranium, all working together. Now, the left temple is dedicated to auditory processing and memories, research at gang stalking, voice to skull possibly, including with voice morphing. Then also research at Google, remote neural monitoring, memory mapping, and memory stimulation. The temple is dedicated to auditorial and memories, visual memories. Hold on. And the occipital lobe, which is the back base, right and left cranium, is dedicated to visual processing, which Scripps Mercy Hospital, on 2 separate dates, through CAT scans, found 2 uniform position calcium deposits. It's all over the internet that calcium deposits are forming around what? Implants. When you go into this YouTube account and my blog, you're going to see massive amounts of exposures concerning the non-consensual light crystal ocular islands implants that are in my eyes, literally fucking sewn into my eyes, either through smart light crystal threads and or hooks, which is another reason why they're sending energy to the eye area. and why they're attacking, okay, the left and right and left septal lobe. When the right and left temple is targeted, that's for, well, these islands implants directly and remotely interface with what? Remote neural monitoring. And then there's an extreme probability that there's some type of prosthetic implant in the iris because of evidence taken from photos and videos. Oh, absolutely. So if the ocular islands implants and or the retina implant that's in the, retina implant that's in the iris need any additional visual implants, they would be located at the back of the head, which I got a bump on the back of my head, and I experience massive current going through it, okay, at least 8 times a month. And I experience daily electrical current, even to the point of burning at the left and right cranium. Now, when the left cranium is targeted, especially for their purposes, transferring visual imagery from either things that they captured from what you saw, and or, depending on what they're doing on each day, and or memories, visual memories harvested through memory mapping through remote neural monitoring, and then they transfer them back to the visual cortex for them to, including possibly even through the islands implants, because visual imagery can be sent to them. Oh, absolutely, it's one of the main features of them. So then what happens is the visual imagery goes through the implants to the visual cortex and then it's seen. Okay? So that would be the massive purpose of the visual implants. Okay, for pictorial thought manipulation, holistic pictorial thought deliberations, including artificial thoughts, which have visual memory references connected to it, looped back to the mind, while auditorial context is perpetrated into the audio cortex through voice-to-skull voice morphing, so that it can give content and meaning to the visual representations you're seeing in your mind. Your brain is then tricked into believing you're having a pictorial thought about what to do, where to go, okay, what to buy, by the way. Oh, absolutely. Now, trust me, I've made pretty good videos about this already in this account, and I'm going to be making a lot more better videos. This is just a very brief preliminary introduction to this sick shit. I plan on moving today, so I've been hit non-stop for 5 hours. To the left cranium, the left eyebrow is burning, the left temple's burning and on fire, the left nostril, the left mouth. That was the purpose of this video. So what I'm going to be doing right now is I'm going to show you something. Watch where my tongue lands at. I'm going to push this part of my face out with my tongue, obviously from the inside. So watch. Okay. Now bear with me a second. Okay. Now look. Let me turn this around. Alright, let me find it again. Alright, now I've been hitting the mouth probably around at least 18 times in the past 72 hours. Okay, from the mid-tooth to the left, from the mid-tooth to the right, on the top. Okay, and I've been hit a couple times along the lower gum line as well. So that was actually the motive of this video. Now, you're going to see in my blog many pictures, attached pictures of direct energy weapon burns and burn splatters, which is extremely suggestive of additional implants or conducting material that is shot up into the mouth, the roof of the mouth, the gum line, the tongue, okay, and much more. Now, if you think this shit sounds bizarre, sorry about the swearing, I truthfully am. If you think this sounds bizarre, what you need to understand and know is that this crime is extremely sophisticated, and it's using a lot of colluding, cooperating partners covertly, which includes dentists. So I want you to listen to something here for a couple seconds, and then I'm gonna let you go because I can't go through too much of my phone battery, and I got stuff to do today. They knew if gang stalking has any way of knowing that I planned on moving today, they want to steer you to where they want you to end up at. Now, they can do this by and through manipulating your pictorial thought composition with auditorial context, which would be then through voice-to-skull voice morphing, so you end up being steered to go where they want you to end up at for continued future targeting. Okay? And there's a lot of motives for this, and trust me, if I expose it all, you would completely understand it. because I'm pretty good at exposing this crime in layman's terms. Hold on 1 second. So when you go to Google and you type in at Google gang stalking, your thoughts are no longer your own, you're going to run across voice to skull. You're going to run across just research remote neural monitoring, how they project visual imagery into the visual cortex. I want you to listen to this for a few minutes and then I'm going to let you go.
1996, but she says openly in the book that it's based on real events. And this book got some notoriety and got some attention from mainstream media, including, I remember when reading the transcript of an interview she had at NPR. But the tone in which the interviewer approached the subject was of skepticism and disbelief and almost indulgence, rather than serious investigation, exploration, or concern. And that always struck me, because here we have a talented and well-known national writer, a writer of national stature, who published a memoir on her personal experience of being targeted, stalked, surveyed, monitored, and being hit with electromagnetic weapons. And she was one of the early witnesses and early whistleblowers of targeting with EMF weapons. And then, her book kind of literally was not taken up by media. So that actually brings me around always, to that issue of media is complicit. If media won't cover, media is complicit, as you say, Catherine. And there literally are no two ways about it. If media won't cover, media is complicit. End of story, And that's what we've been experiencing so far. So that I just wanted to mention Gloria Naylor as well. And I think you may have mentioned Rauni Kilda, right? Dr. Rauni Lukanen Kilda, Chief Medical Officer of Finland, who also was killed with directed energy weapons after literally spending a lifetime writing, talking, going to conferences, and whistleblowing about it. There's one thing I wanted to read out from her book about paranoid schizophrenia, sort of an explosive bit of information for everybody. So if you guys have the time right now, I'll read it right now. Okay, so she made this speech at the 33rd International Congress on Military Medicine in Helsinki in June of 2000, and her paper was titled Electromagnetic Neurotelecommunication and Cybernetics. Okay, and what she's talking about is the connection between paranoid schizophrenia, the DSM, the symptoms ascribed to paranoid schizophrenia as expressed in the DSM, and how reporting victims of intelligence agency crime are being dismissed and discredited with this paranoid schizophrenia diagnosis. So, in 1952, when electronic implants were placed in brain and teeth for tracking behavior and mind control, conditioning, programming, and covert operations, she goes boom right to the heart of the matter there, telling us exactly what was going on in 1952. Remember, the 50s to the 70s was when MK Ultra was booming, and then it was kind of discovered in the middle of the 70s. Then we all know it kind of went underground, and then it came out in the Joint Non-Lethal Weapons Directorate in the Navy, the Air Force Research Laboratory, all of those military. There started to become a lot of connection between the military and the CIA at that point, and what they were studying termed as MK Ultra programs, but they were studying in the 70s, sort of got transferred over into non-lethal weapons, electromagnetic weapons, electronic weapons studies, etc. So anyway, in 1952, when these implants were placed in brain and teeth for tracking, etc., it became necessary to hide the technology, electronic stimulation of the brain, and implants during surgery or abduction from the public because of the Nuremberg Code, which prohibits involuntary medical experimentation on humans. DSM, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual for Psychiatry, was created in 20 languages. Today, it lists 4 methods used on unsuspecting targets in electronic, chemical, or bacteriological warfare experiments assigned to paranoid schizophrenia, also for psychological warfare. all medical schools teach that one is mentally ill if you hear voices in your head, feel that you are surveilled, poisoned, beat with microwaves, listened to via radios, telephone, loudspeakers, TV, feel that your thoughts are read and reacted to by strangers, and if you experience paranormal phenomena like contact with the energy of a deceased for longer time, etc. Differential diagnosis that the person is a victim of mind control is never taught. Neither the fact that the technology indeed exists already for 50 years without public knowledge, without any contact with the subject. Remote neural monitoring can map out electrical activity from the visual cortex of the subject's brain and show images from the subject's brain on a video monitor. Operatives see what the surveillance subject's eyes are seeing. Visual memory can also be seen, and they can put images into the subject's brain while they are in REM sleep to do brain programming. Two-way electronic brain link is done by remotely monitoring neural audiovisual information while transmitting sound to the auditory cortex, bypassing the ears, and transmitting faint images to the visual cortex, bypassing optic nerves and eyes. Nanotechnology computers of certain intelligence agencies are a generation ahead of present academic computer technology. There has been a signals intelligence network since 1940 in USA, and Russian woodpecker signals toward Americans in 1960s in Moscow. High-frequency beams of radiation to the embassy cause malaise, irritability, extreme fatigue, and effects are not temporary but include cataracts, blood changes that induce heart attacks, malignancies, circulatory problems, and permanent deterioration of the nervous system. Today, sudden attack of flu symptoms without virus or epileptic attack can be remotely induced in electronic warfare, as well as the use of amnesia beam to cause a sudden blank out of memory of a target giving a public presentation. So there's more. I mean, this is a fascinating paper that she gave, and the whole thing is worth reading. But I just wanted to give a taste of that connection between paranoid schizophrenia and how the DSM came out of nowhere at exactly the same time, 1952, when the intel agencies were implanting people, and it literally recorded those very symptoms that now doctors and psychiatrists use to dismiss the narrations and recountings and reports of reporting victims of crime. So, that's not a coincidence. Obviously, it was done deliberately. There was a distinct connection between psychiatry, the intelligence agencies, and the DSM.
All right, now, folks, that's just a tidbit of information. That came from Techno Crime Fighters episode number 43. And unfortunately, it doesn't appear that number 43 is included within the Techno Crime Fighters playlist on Dr. Catherine Horton's Stop 007 YouTube channel. Because Romola D and Karen Melton Stewart and Dr. Catherine Horton seem to have had some type of social strife between them. They broke up, and Romola D's YouTube channel got shut down. I don't know if her Techno Crime Fighters videos have been put on BitChute or whatever. I still got yet to investigate that. But I do got the audio from it. And I have uploaded a portion of this section of this particular audio file. And by the way, let's see if it disappears off this Amazon tape recorder, because other audio files have disappeared that I was using to assist me in remembering things about what this crime is capable of. What did you just hear? Remote neural monitoring, memory blanking. So, you need to understand something about these islands implants. When you go into my blog and you see the snap screenshot that shows it's a tweet, it's a snap screenshot of a tweet, and within the snap screenshot, it's got 4 pictures. One in the lower right corner is a white sweatshirt made in Michigan in 2008, which says learning disabled woman tortured in Dearborn, Michigan. Go to freepress.com/opinion blog. The other 3 are pictures of the islands implants. Now, there's a YouTube link in that snap screenshot. You want to bring that up. That's Techno Crime Fighters episode 58. It shows many of the features and functions of these islands implants. And you should also know these islands implants are shown in the book that is titled Brain Implants and Messages, Nanomachines and the Creation of False Memories, written by Dr. Hildegard Staninger. Her name is spelled Hildegarde, Staninger. Staninger is with an I. And then you can listen to many of her Blogspot radio interviews by going to Google and typing in her name to One Cell Light, O-N-E, One Cell Light, Blogspot, okay, electronic harassment, Melinda Kidder. And there's at least 5 to 7 or 8 separate interviews in at least 5 different blogs, and they're extremely easy to find. She doesn't, when you bring her blogs up by typing that in, you should know that when you bring the blogs up, just type that in, you'll immediately find the blogs. Then when you bring the blog up, it doesn't take, it will take you less than 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes to find the podcast. And all you got to do with the podcast is put on a set of headphones, and you're right there. You're literally right there. You click on that podcast, on the little arrow key of the attached podcast, and it immediately starts, instantly. So finding these websites in total will take less than 3 minutes if you go to Google and type in at Google Dr. Hildegard Staninger, One Cell Light, Blogspot, electronic harassment, Melinda Kidder. Melinda Kidder from Colombian Investigation Services. And so let me tie up that statement concerning the attack related to those 2 videos that I told you about from August 9th and August 11th, 2022. That literally fucking took place less than 100 feet from where I'm sitting at right now. Okay? And it doesn't matter where I'm sitting at. I can go to some place for the first time. I can go to bus stops, bus routes, coffee shops, grocery stores, inside and outside of both. Anywhere I go, these little fucking demonic bitches are targeting me. And excuse the language, but you should also know in the same interview, it showed earlier in it, concerning the audio I just played, it shows Romola D openly state that these satanic rats, and she's not the only one saying it, there's thousands and thousands of very educated victims online exposing this, as well as scientists, doctors, and professors. There's hundreds of books written by this crime. Go to Google and type in the name of these 3 books. Remote Brain Targeting by Renee Pittman, The Invisible Crime by Mike Fitzhugh-Bell, and Electronic Torture, Electronic Rape, Technology and Gang Stalking at the Post Office, written by Jewel Cran. Electronic Rape has to do with the feature of the remote neural monitoring that's called the Phantom Touch, and there's also probably non-consensual stimulated responsive implants playing a role in that, where they can electronically stimulate an implant that is non-consensually put in the private areas of victims, and then therefore the victims feel the sensation of being raped to their anus, to their private parts, men and women. As grotesque as this sounds, trust me, it's occurring. Electronic rape is one of the biggest reported crimes reported about remote neural monitoring, because the people who are doing this are vile, wild animals. They're sickos. They're sadists, they're demented, they're psychopaths, they're sociopaths, they're demented. This crime is all over the internet, exposed in tens and tens of thousands of posts, and there's hundreds of books written about it. This crime has been repeatedly covered on national radio shows, including ones I've been on. Now, earlier in this audio, and I'll go back and, finish off my statement here about the 2 videos in a second. Another part of this audio literally shows Romola D state that this shit can be carried around in lunch pails, backpacks, briefcases, cars. It's literally reported to be literally housed in cars, in the front engine blocks, including in police cars, the front engine blocks of vehicles and the doors of vehicles. So when they get behind a victim, when the victim is in a vehicle and they pull up their vehicle behind that victim, they turn the shit on and the victim gets zapped with electromagnetic weapons while the victim is in front of their vehicle. They can pull alongside of a vehicle of a victim, okay, and turn it on because the technology is in the door of the perpetrator's car or vehicle, okay. They can park a car where they got this shit in the front engine chassis, okay, or in the back trunk area. Back the car in. If you're sitting in a coffee shop and you're less than 100 feet away from the door, all they got to do is turn it on, and it will especially find a victim if that victim's got implants. So that's an additional reason why I'm bringing you back to these 2 videos I was referring to that are in my YouTube account. The first one uploaded on August 10th, 2022 is the only video uploaded on that date. Remember what I said, you're going to start seeing the electromagnetic weapons energy coming into the tent. Right after I say in the video, the attack came from over there as I'm pointing. I then bring the phone back to me. Those videos were made from the home screen. As soon as I bring the phone back to me physically, within 30 seconds to a minute, you're going to see the energy waves come in the side wall of the tent that I was pointing to, and the top of the tent. all that was a simultaneous attack coming from at least 2 to 3 different directions, including the helicopter. And then the identical attack that happened on the 11th at the same spot while I was sitting in the same area of the tent, that part of that attack was mitigated by and through shielding that I put up on the tent, on the exterior wall of the tent. Okay? Now, when you take consecutive snap screenshots, let's talk just for a second about the video dedicated to the 9th, which is uploaded on the 10th. Neither one has a title yet. The one from the 11th is uploaded on the 13th. Those are 2 videos uploaded on the 13th. So ignore the one, the video of the second attack that took place on the 11th that was uploaded on the 13th is 9 minutes long. When you bring up both videos, you're going to see the energy, the blue and white energy coming into the tent from the top. The 9th video, which is uploaded on the 10th, you're going to see it also come through the side wall. On the 11th attack, which is the 13th video, the video from the 13th that was uploaded on the 13th, the shielding on the exterior wall stops it. Now, when you start to see this energy coming into the tent, okay, and trust me, you're going to see me saying in the second video, you're going to be the 13th video dedicated to the date of the 11th, you're going to see me saying they're doing it again, okay? So anyways, so check this out. So now what's important about the attack on the 9th is because the shielding wasn't on the side wall of the tent on that date. And that's the video where you literally see me saying, hold on a second, because they're literally targeting me as I speak. They've been frying my left temple and my right cranium and my left temple, my left cranium, and my left eyebrow all day long. It's been burning nonstop, and my left ear is being massively attacked with infrasound and ultrasound. And ultrasound is the carrier wave for the visual imagery for remote neural monitoring, and it's also widely reported to be the main conduit for voice to skull. One of the main conduits. There's many different acoustic weapons that can be used for the sake of voice to skull. Okay, for neural influencing. And hold on one second, because I'm trying to put something on to protect my fucking temple and the side of my head. They've been targeting me all day. Now, I want you to know that for the majority of the day while I've been sitting here and being targeted to the left temple and the left cranium, they have been facing in multiple directions. Towards the direction of UCSD, towards the direction of the hill that's on the side of the property that I showed you the houses earlier, and from across the street. Okay? Those have been the 3 main areas that the left side of the head has been facing today. And I'm being relayed. I can tell I'm being relayed. And one of the reasons why I can tell I'm being relayed is because I hear an electronic transmission sound in my right ear every second of every minute of every hour of every day. I wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, I hear it. Now, on hundreds, actually thousands of dates when I've been at wooded areas and along my routes, I've heard those electronic transmissions. I hear the electronic transmission sound in my ear everywhere I'm at. But there's a lot of times I will also hear electronic transmission sound in the environment. And that's usually heard when they turn ultrasound and or infrasound up. Okay? Because I'm enduring both. My ultrasound and infrasound app has picked it up both every time I brought it up everywhere. Okay? So, everywhere I bring it up at. So, now, you need to understand this. The right ear, it hears the electronic transmission sound in the ear, but when they turn it up, those type of identical sounds are also heard in the environment. So when I move the right ear, okay, the sound in the environment is heard so say if my right ear is facing the road and I'm hearing the electronic transmission sound in the environment, well then the electronic transmission sound I hear in the environment will be heard in the environment from the direction of the road. But if I turn my ear and my ear is then been turned, let's say 45 degrees, okay, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 360 degrees, the sound will then be heard in the environment in the direction the ear is pointing to, strongly suggesting that I'm being relayed over to other emitters and or antennas. Okay? Absolutely. And it's instantly done. So that's strongly suggesting that what is ever in my ear, because I got non-consensual laser surgery scars behind both ears, okay, is operating through a radio signal, strongly suggesting a cochlear ear implant. Okay, either a bone conduction cochlear ear implant, or a regular cochlear ear implant, or possibly a nano audio implant. These things are widely reported. Even Romola D suspects she's got one. That was the woman you just heard talking from the audio file from the tape recorder. Now, getting back to the video that's uploaded on the 10th, that came from the attack on the 9th, the day before, when you take non-stop consecutive stand screenshots, when you start seeing that energy come through the sidewall of the tent and also above, you're literally going to see an energy beam enter the side wall of the tent and literally go directly to where? Right fucking here. Right at the hairline in the middle. Right at the hairline, right in the middle of the forehead. Okay? It goes right there, and you're going to see, if you really take good snap screenshots, this is exposed on my blog, the snap screenshots as well, you're literally going to see two beams. You're going to see the beam entering the tent, and then it splits into two beams. One beam is a tracker, and the other beam is the energy beam. Okay? And it goes right here. Now, I got a photo, at least 5 photos, 4 to 5 photos, 1 video, and at least 10 different audio files on 10 different dates showing me state they're not only hitting me to that direct part of the head, but one day they hit me so fucking bad to where a skin flap, a direct energy weapon burn bubble appeared on that spot, that same exact spot, and it caused the skin flap to unfold. Okay? Absolutely. And so I took a picture of it and a video of it, right? And then when it healed, the flap rested back on the head. Now, when you go into the Techno Crime Fighters episode 58, you're going to hear Dr. Catherine Horton talk about how they're putting implants under skin folds. Okay, absolutely. Because some of these implants can be very microscopic. They can be the size of nanotech. And then they act as a trans receiver. So they can transmit a signal, which is what the tracker beam is for. And then the tracker beam finds the signal, and then the energy beam is sent to it, and then that's where they fry you out at. Same thing concerning the occipital lobe, even though those would be different types of implants. Because when you take the snap screenshots are already taken by me and put in my blog and all over Twitter. So you're going to indisputably witness it visually. Visually, you're going to witness it. Okay? And then I think it was within the 9 days later, I brought up YouTube, and right sitting on my YouTube home screen was a YouTube video about this crime. Brought it up, looked at it, and it was talking about scalar weapons, scalar energy weapons. Watched it, and within that video, it literally shows an energy beam that is identical to the energy beam you see interfacing with my forehead. There's also other energy beams interfacing with the edge of my eyebrows. Okay? And that morning when I woke up, I made a statement in my tape recorder that, if memory serves me correctly, I said, the left edge of my right eyebrow is burning like a bitch in heat. Excuse my language, please, because I honestly usually don't talk like this at all. Okay? Oh, man, you wouldn't believe how mad this crime makes you. Oh, absolutely. They've been debilitating me by literally going after my abdomen and my pelvic area on a massive scale, nonstop every day. Nonstop every day for well over 3 months. At over, probably by now, 20 different wooded areas on the same property. Debilitating me, even debilitating me from moving. That then makes me a sitting duck for continued all-day targeting. Okay? Oh, you wouldn't believe what I'm going through just to protect myself from that. Now, when you watch the video uploaded on the 13th, you're going to see this shielding is effective, because it literally stops part of the attack that they were attempting to do. Again, on the wall, you're going to see that energy being reflected by the shielding that was put on the outside wall of the tent. It literally collides in with it. And when you take the consecutive back-to-back snap screenshots, you're literally going to see the energy being stopped by that reflective, metallic reflective material. Well, I got to literally wear this type of shit now on my waist every fucking day, because they're targeting my waist like you wouldn't believe. And you would not believe what they're doing in order to get me to stay on the same fucking property. No matter where I move to at on this property, I am targeted at in the same exact identical extreme torturous way, non-stop. Right now, my right abdomen is being targeted as I fucking speak. Okay? And I just moved some wet bandanas over to the... let me show you where they're targeting me at right now. Right here. Right here along this part of the left side of the head. It's going down into the temple. Earlier, they were non-stop targeting the temple, the left eye. So take snap screenshots, and if you see any partial outlines of the islands and plants in my eyes, well, that's because this constant and massive electromagnetic weapons torture and interface, it creates boil sheets and boil bumps on the eyes. That push and the biofilm like crystal ocular islands and plants are resting on the eyes. So what that does is these boil sheets and boil bumps, it pushes the back part of the transparent biofilm light crystal ocular lens implants out, making their outline transparently visible, and sometimes even lighting up the embedded light crystals within them, which are evenly embedded throughout them from corner to corner, and they at least cover the entire pupil. So they go from corner to corner of the eye, and they cover the entire pupil. This is how, in part, it enables them to see through my eyes and record what they see through my eyes, and it gives them capacity to send visual imagery to it. It's then transferred to the retina, to the optical nerve, to the visual cortex. And if they need any additional implants for that visual processing, that would then be why I got the 2 uniform calcium deposits on both sides of my occipital lobe, okay, discovered in at least 2 CAT scans at Scripps Mercy Hospital. Okay, why do I got a bump also on the back of my head? When you go to Google and research extensively at Google, prosthetic eye implants, and you'll see additional implants that are needed for that. One of them goes directly on the back of the head, exactly where I got an additional bump at. There's also a 2.5-inch long surgery scar, less than 1/32 of an inch, directly below my left occipital lobe. I'm getting ready to shave the back of my head on the right to see if I can find one there. Now, whatever is sent to the left eye, and whatever is sent to the visual processing, visual implants, if there are any back there, I feel electric current going through my head on all dates, okay, especially related to the temple, okay, and the occipital lobes and the top of the head to the right and left. Now, whatever is processed in the left eye would then go through the additional implants, then to the visual cortex, but it would also go to the right hemisphere, which is responsible for what? Pictorial thinking. And we all know, if you really sit back and look at your visual, when you look at your pictorial thinking and how that's related to your visual memory references, fast analogy, and then I literally gotta let you go. Say if your wife approaches you on Monday and she says, "Sweetheart, what do you want for dinner?" And the husband says, "Tacos," right? You say this to yourself every day. You say to yourself while you're at home, "What do I want for lunch? What am I in the mood for?" And you say to yourself, "Okay, tacos." Well, and so before you get up to look to see if you got any leftover taco ingredients like taco sauce, taco shells, the taco seasoning for the meat, any meat as well, what your brain is going to do is it's going to access your visual memory Rolodex, because you're going to say to yourself, "Do I got any taco shells left?" So what your brain is going to do is it's going to go into your memory bank, and it's going to retrieve the memory dedicated to those tacos and how many taco shells were left in the taco box when you put them away the last time you made tacos. Therefore, you retrieving that memory reference becomes part of your in real-time thought process, because you're retrieving a visual memory reference related to the thought subject matter. Therefore, the visual imagery becomes part of the in real-time verbal thought composition, making both part of a pictorial thought composition. Now, visual memory references play a huge role in our pictorial thought composition and in our holistic thought deliberations, which then lead to conclusions. So if a victim is trying to escape the targeting of herself or himself, one who's been made homeless, and they're trying to run from that radiotelemetry, okay, there's many forms of targeting. Radiotelemetry is one of them. Radiotelemetry strongly suggests that they need emitters, or transducers, or transmitters, or antennas that they got to physically put on the property, so that whatever signal they're sending to the victim from either homes, airplanes, cell towers, or whatever else, or mobile vehicles that can easily park off the road off this property, will get to the victim. Okay? Now, so, and much more. So, in order to manipulate the thinking to get you to go back to another area on the same property, an area you've seen before, well, they saw you seen it before, because they're watching what you see through your eye lens implants. They're recording it, and they can loop it back to the visual cortex and portray it as part of your in real-time thought composition, or part of the artificial thought composition, which is where voice is called with voice morphing will come into play at. So when you're watching up at John Hall's satellite terrorism videos, you're going to see him state that they use voice of skull with voice morphing on his ex-fiancée, they nearly influenced her to go eat some food substances and water out of her refrigerator that they had put the date rape drug in. Okay? How many times a day when you're at home do you go to the refrigerator? Listen closely to my statements. How many? Let's say if you work Monday through Friday and you got the weekend off, even Monday through Friday, when you're at home, how many times during the day do you think to yourself, "I'm gonna go get some tea. I'm gonna go get some lemonade. I'm gonna go get whatever out of the refrigerator"? Well, everything you put in the refrigerator has got a visual memory associated to it, and that is a well incorporated, already automated system, motor cortex associated behavior of getting up and going to the refrigerator when you make the choice that you want to go there to get something. This is something every human being does who's got a refrigerator. Okay? So if you break into a woman's home and you put the date rape drug in her food and her water that's in the refrigerator, whether it be pre-packaged food, whether it be leftovers from a restaurant, it doesn't matter because these sick fucks can get into it. Make no mistake about it. I mean, Mike Fitzhugh, he went and bought a 6-pack of beer, brought it home, opened up one, took one sip of it, and was instantly knocked out. They then abducted him, kidnapped him, raped him, and implanted him. Okay? We're dealing with the intelligence agencies here, wild animals, okay, who got the resources, capability, expertise, and tradecraft to do it all. Okay? Even Dr. Hildegard Sanger is exposing this. Absolutely. So check this out. So when you think to yourself when you're at home, you think to yourself, "Oh, I'm thirsty." You've been working in front of the computer for 5 hours. You realize that your cup of coffee's out, your iced tea coffee, or whatever, your soda, okay, anything that you refrigerate. You're hungry. You got a salad in the refrigerator. So then you say to yourself, your brain says, "I'm hungry." Your brain signals to you what you want that's in the refrigerator. You then get up and you go to it. You say to yourself, "I'm going to get up and go get that iced tea. I'm going to get up and go get that lemonade. I'm going to go get up and get that water. I'm going to get up and go get that salad. I'm going to get up and make me a sandwich." Right? Now, these are everyday thoughts that all people have that have homes, apartments, motel rooms, okay, or refrigerators, right? So why would you not believe you hearing that thought in your audio cortex, in your own voice print? Why would you not believe that that's your thought? Voice to skull with voice morphing. They morph your voice, they put it in a computer. They then send to your audio cortex, "I'm thirsty, I'm hungry." You hear it in your own voice print. Okay, you get up to go get it. You eat what they put the date rape drug in because they're directing you to go eat it. You get knocked out and they come in and gang rape you every single night. And probably more than likely videotaped it. So when you go to YouTube search box and you type in two things, "Stalked in San Antonio," that's the news broadcast of this, even though it doesn't delve into this meticulous aspect of this crime. One of those women is John Hall's ex-fiance. Then when you go to YouTube and you type in John Hall satellite terrorism, okay, baby kicks and munchkin butts, listen to enough of his videos until you hear him talk about it. Where they literally, in many of them, he'll just say, "They subliminally controlled my girlfriend, okay, to eat the food, okay, and beverages that they put the date rape drug in." But many of his other exposures about this show him state that if you put a voice in a person's head that is not your own voice, that's electronic harassment. If you put a voice in your head that sounds like the sound of your voice when you're reading, well, then that's mind control. Well, that's what they can do to a victim that they're trying to keep on the same property because they're in the fucking neighborhood, in neighboring condos and neighboring homes. When you research at Google how they rent apartments and homes next to and around victims, okay, right? So if they want to keep you in the area of a general area where they're at, then they're going to try and nearly influence you to stay in that area. First, they nearly influence you to run, and this is done for many reasons, by the way, and I ain't got time to go into all that. But first, though, because they purposely condition victims to run from these electromagnetic weapons attacks, because the body and brain is realizing it's being sadistically tortured, either through the head, the chest, the throat, the neck, okay, the torso, the abdomen, wherever, okay? They know that the brain is going to signal to you to get up and go. Well, they want to keep you in the fucking neighborhood. So how do they keep you in the neighborhood if they got the capacity to remotely nearly interface with your auditory and visual cortex? With or without brain implants, with or without ear implants, okay? How could they do this? Okay, well, because it is reported remote neuromonitoring does not need implants, even though I can prove I got at least eye implants. I mean, I got laser surgery scars behind my occipital lobe, I got laser surgery scars behind my fucking ears, and many other places. Oh, absolutely. Okay, so check this out. How could you nearly influence a victim okay, to go to another wooded area where they already have emitters on the property, where they already got antennas and transistors and or transducers set up so that when you get there, you experience the same torture. And where they're set up in nearby neighborhood homes, and or where they can easily pull a vehicle up off the road once you get into the area, and or where they can bring people on the property and have them behind foliage, and or where they can use drones, helicopters, planes, and whatever. All this can be extensively Googled, sweethearts, because your brain will interlock the data. Now, so how can you influence a victim to go to a wooded area they've seen before? Because they're trying to run from the current one where they're being tortured at. Well, all you got to do is record what they've seen from that area on a prior date. Okay? Through these islands implants, and even without them through remote monitoring, it's reported they can record what you see even without them. So they record it, and then they loop it back to your visual cortex on the day that they can see you're moving. Okay? And you should also know that they will purposely allow you to move, because they can torture you so badly where you can't move. But they will purposely also allow you to move in order to condition that, to neurologically entrain neural pathways of constantly running from the torture. To try to endlessly fuck up your schedule daily, nonstop. Okay? To continue the entrainment around the torture, to traumatic brain injury, dissociated states, concussive states, and much more. Okay, but how can they nearly control you to stay in the same neighborhood of the same property? Well, they've already monitored every single place you fucking have been to. Let's just say, as an example concerning one time frame, okay, since 2018. So they know you moved 58 times since 2018 on the same fucking property. Therefore, every single fucking place you've seen, all routes getting to each place, and when you arrive at each place, each area onto the wooded area property, they recorded every last fucking bit of it. Right? So when you think to yourself, do I got enough taco shells in my refrigerator to make tacos because I'm going to make tacos today, your brain will retrieve that visual imagery of how many taco shells you've seen you put in your taco shell box when you wrapped up your taco shells the last time you had tacos. Then the brain retrieves that information, therefore you get up and you go get the taco shells. Because your brain is now saying, this is how many taco shells I got left, based on what I seen, visually seen, which then went into your visual memory the last time you wrapped up your tacos. Same thing concerning a wooded area. You fucking go to a wooded area and you see it. Like, let me show you an example. You see this, do you see this little cubby hole right here? Let me zoom in on this. You see this little cubby hole right there? Well, say if you pitch your tent up right here. There's the cubby hole, and you pitch your tent up right here. As you're approaching this area, you see it. You see the surrounding pine tree. Okay? You see the entrance and everything leading up to it, and then you see the spot. You see that foliage over there, because when you're walking directly towards this spot, coming from that direction, and you're walking towards it, you're seeing all the foliage over there. They're recording everything you fucking see. Right? So say if you were at a different wooded area a week ago and you needed to move from there because you were being sadistically tortured, and then you leave that area and you pack up your fucking bike and you go sit somewhere off a road, and then 30 times you see this pine tree and how it's nicely, okay, all nice in here with the pine needles there, and yes, I realize there's branches there, but when I was here before, I also seen this area. Well, they fucking recorded it. Right? So they can then loop that back to you while simultaneously using into your visual cortex, while simultaneously using voice to skull with voice morphine. Where am I going to go? Oh, that was a good area. I can just use it for a night. Okay? And then I'll get up the next morning and leave and go somewhere else to a place I've never seen before. So you move to it that fucking night after they loop it back into your visual cortex, and your audio cortex hears the voice to skull with voice morphine, because just like when you would say to yourself, okay, I got 5 tacos as a result of my memory telling me I got 5 tacos left, and then you say, okay, I'm going to get up and go make tacos. So the visual memory reference is telling you you got the tacos, and it's telling you where they're at. And then the auditorial, your verbal internal dialogue will say, okay, now I can get up and make tacos, and you go make tacos. Well, it's the same thing concerning a wooded area. They record what you see on prior dates, and then they loop it back to the visual cortex, and presenting it as a in real-time thought based on a memory reference, while simultaneously using voice to skull with voice morphine. Oh, I can go here, and I'll just go here for one fucking night. because I'm too sick from the torture of the area I just left, and I'm too sick to fucking push my bike any further down the fucking road. So you end up coming here, right? While they're blinking your memory about the torture you just endured fucking 100 feet away less than 2 weeks ago, less than a month ago, okay? And while they can also interrupt your thought processes so you don't think other things through. Like, is this the best fucking choice? I should actually just fucking maybe just walk 150 feet at a time and go to a whole fucking other area. Well, how can you have that thought if they can interrupt your thought process? They only want your brain processing what they're fucking sending to it because they want you to go to a certain spot. Research all these descriptions to remote neural monitoring, voice to skull. Okay, voice to skull with voice morphing. Do what I tell you to do, sweethearts. Your brain will interlock the data from the different research results, and then you're gonna each bit of information is a piece of puzzle. Okay, the devil's in the details. The devil's in the detail. So you can see, because when you type in at Google, gang stalking, your thoughts are no longer your own, well, where the hell do you think that comes from? That's voice to skull with voice morphing, and that's fucking memory mapping and memory stimulation, looping the memory references back to your visual cortex while simultaneously using the voice to skull with voice morphing. Oh yeah, that looked like a nice little pleasant place. I can go there. I can maybe look to see, look at an area where I know I left some property behind back in 2012. Okay? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Then you go there. Okay? Because your body's telling you you can't go far because you're experiencing torture, the effects of non-stop torture that's been going on now every single day for 3 straight months at least. Every single day. Debilitating torture. Okay? Non-stop torture. To the torso, to the abdomen, to the liver, the kidneys. Okay? The stomach area, the intestine area, the pelvic area. Non-stop, sadistic, immobilizing torture. So they know you're not going to be able to go far.